Nothing in our sky is supposed to move like that. Look at behind how the clouds turn light blue. If this is real, something unexplained is going on here.
I swear that just stays still.
Yeah, that's not a plane. Take credit.
He said. That's not a plane.
That is not a plane.
That's a plane. That's a plane. What the fuck is that?
If this is all fake, somebody's investing some serious effort to manufacture it. If this is real, someone's working even harder trying to bury it. Either way, there's a system behind what we're seeing. Tonight, we're going deeper than just UFO clips. We're following this pattern into ghosts, hidden history, systems built to keep this stuff out of view. And by the end of this episode, you won't be able to look at any of it the same way again. You're looking at early experiments based on Nikola Tesla's idea about wireless electricity and anti-gravity, the stuff that quietly disappeared from public conversations. When you put this next to the way those UFOs were moving a minute ago, it stops feeling like random and starts looking like a trail of erased research. If any of this worked, someone would have had a very good reason to bury it, rename it, or classify it. So it's quite possible this is some more erased history. Why exactly they would do it, I'm not too sure. But the technology looks efficient. Why would they cover this up? I'm trying to figure out if this technology existed, why would they get rid of it? Why would they cover it up? It doesn't make sense. What is society trying to hide?
One of the biggest annoyances of the adult grown-up world is right here. These are what I call flying car complaints. And once I explain it, you're going to start to see it everywhere, and it's going to start to drive you nuts. In every movie set in the future, they of course have flying cars. It is a staple of what we thought the future would look like. As a result of this, a common criticism of the present is that we still don't have them, and the phrase people keep using is, "We were promised flying cars." The annoyance starts to come in when you ask, who promised you flying cars? And the answer is science fiction authors and movie directors.
What's wild is how the fantasy got sold to us faster than any real safety, infrastructure, or ethics conversation. They taught us to dream about the upgrade, not question who controls it, who gets access to it, or what happens when the sky becomes the new highway.
But they didn't have to figure out the logistics of how to make a car fly. They could just write down "the car flew" or do a special effect. Having the idea, what if my car could fly, is nothing. A toddler can come up with that. The other 99.99999% of the problem is actually figuring out how you can make such a device that works and is reliable and is safe. Because fictional flying cars are not like helicopters or airplanes. They don't have wings or rotors. They can somehow stop on a dime. Of course they can. This is just green screen and CGI.
Or they have that TR-3B hidden technology that DARPA has been working on that they swept under the rug and don't talk about.
The logistics of actually making this work are so mind-boggling that we may never have this. If your car stalls going down the highway, big deal. You just pull over and call a tow truck. If your car stalls in the middle of the air, you're going to plummet to your death. If you are driving and suddenly a severe thunderstorm pops up, big deal. You turn on the windshield wipers and you slow down a little bit. If you're in an aircraft, that is now an emergency. So we're in this weird situation where people will criticize the world's engineers and manufacturers and governments for not giving us a flying car as if the hard part had already been done. That is, that somebody had the idea, hey, what if the cars could fly? So what I call a flying car complaint is anytime somebody criticizes you for failing to do something that they think is easy only because they have no idea how it works. But where this will really drive you up a wall is if you ever try to build something. You start a business or a club or an organization or a charity. You will be shocked by how much of the most fierce criticism comes not from people who intimately understand what you're doing, but rather from people who expect you to do the impossible purely because they don't have any idea what goes into it. So much of it is, where's my flying car?
It could be a strong possibility they already have futuristic flying cars. They're just choosing what future we're allowing the public to see, basically. Who knows how far ahead the technology they have now? It's just all about what are they willing to introduce to society. I'd be happy if they fixed the damn potholes in my area before a flying car, to be honest. We have some paranormal activity in the Appalachian Mountains.
Y'all, I just walked off the porch and I came out here to check on the chickens. I just heard, first off, I heard my name. Second off, it sounded like somebody was saying, help me.
Hey. Help. I need help. Harry, can you help me?
If y'all live out in those mountains, you just need to get that saying tattooed on the inside of your eyelids. If you hear something, no you didn't. And if you see something, no you didn't. This is probably one of the more terrifying things I can think of, because listen to how clear that is. I mean, that could be right next to him. That could be right next to him. You know, I don't live out in those mountains, so here I am. I just be like, hey, somebody's talking to me.
Sir, it might be a good idea to get back inside and wait for daylight to break, because you may have a skinwalker on your hands.
If you're gonna start anywhere with temple mysteries, you have to start with India. India has the craziest architecture you will ever see.
Look, it's like he's driving a ship. Why would this ancient building rotate like that?
Half the stuff in the temples spin if they don't float. The pillars in these temples look exactly like the sound wave in 3D. That one's iron. It hasn't rusted in 2,300 years. They carved them into mountains and then out of mountains. You can't make a mistake. You have one shot at it. When they're done carving, they put the finest details head to toe in the entire temple. It's everywhere. You cannot get all the details even if you tried. Look at this. That's a mandala made out of a snake tail. It's all one tail. That elephant is not an elephant. It's made out of people. That stone is made out of one solid rock. It moves. It's a chain now. They put a...
What type of ancient technology allows you to make a literal chain out of stone? How do you link them together? Was it all made out of one original piece of stone?
a rock ball of one stone inside a carving of a different type of stone. It's one piece. How'd they get the rock ball in there? They built pyramids like Egypt and Mexico, and then they inverted it into the ground. Then when they got bored of that, they inverted one of their own temples and built that into the ground. Some of the features inside the temple look like modern technology today.
Look, doesn't that remind you of an airplane turbine? And earlier at the beginning of this video, we seen homie grab the steering wheel like he's controlling the entire ancient structure.
I'm assuming all of you have seen the photos and videos of the petroglyphs that have recently become visible in Hawaii, but here's the crazy thing. They allegedly resemble the same type of petroglyphs that were photographed in the 90s on Mars and were released in leaked photos. After the underwater earthquake hit off the coast of Russia and caused a tsunami to head towards Hawaii, something really strange emerged. Check this out. The symbols, they don't match any known Polynesian glyphs. Instead, they look eerily similar to ones found in Bolivia and on Mars.
Hold on. I don't think this is a petroglyph. This looks like a broken Stargate that fell apart and washed up on shore. Tell me this doesn't look like a Stargate to you guys that got disassembled.
What if cathedrals weren't just places of worship, but machines designed to work with sound and energy? Look at this. A Schumann resonator is an electrical device tuned to 7.83 Hertz, the Earth's natural resonant frequency. Now compare that pattern to the labyrinth floors found in European cathedrals. The geometry matches. Some researchers believe these labyrinths acted as resonators, producing low-frequency vibration through sound. That energy would travel upward through the building's cruciform layout, not randomly, directed. The ribbed arches weren't decorative. They diffuse sound. They enhance resonance. As the energy moves upward, it spreads through the structure and concentrates at specific points.
Some of these old cathedrals, it's worth mentioning that they have the organ, those pipe organs in there. So what type of frequency are they trying to produce where they got the pipe organs going with these ancient Schumann resonance frequency cathedrals? Y'all tell me. They were vibrating. 100% they were vibrating back in the day. Today we vibing, but they was vibrating.
The rose windows, higher frequency resonance. Then it funnels back down to the center of the building, the altar. Some theorists point out that altar may relate to alternate current, energy cycling through the structure. The stone floors themselves may have played a role. Certain stones are piezoelectric. When pressure or vibration is applied, they produce electrical charge. Sound from organs and chants could generate vibration, creating a continuous energy loop. Even the domes raise questions. Their internal geometry resembles printed circuit boards, and on top of many cathedrals are crosses shaped like fractal antennas, structures designed to receive and transmit. Mainstream history says this is all symbolism and acoustics, but the patterns repeat. The geometry aligns, the frequencies match, the design is consistent. So the real question isn't whether cathedrals were beautiful, it's whether they were functional. Because if these buildings worked with energy, sound, and resonance, then architecture wasn't just art, it was technology.
Add that to the list of erased history that the higher-ups of society is trying to erase and hide from us.
What's that? Oh, there's a technology that most people don't know about that's called the voice-to-skull technology, which has a patent where you actually hear voices come inside your head, which isn't your own voice, and it takes over. Tell me more! Yeah, this voice-to-skull technology has been around since the Cold War, at least that's what we know so far, and what it does is it uses a microwave frequency that is pointed in certain directions at certain people and will only affect the people that it's pointed at. Now, the reason it's called voice-to-skull technology is because when it is pointed at somebody, it does not enter through the ear, it goes directly to the skull.
What if whoever created this technology took the information we just saw from the cathedrals and they weaponized it? It seems like the deeper we dive into this, the more the patterns line up.
This was said to just be used for crowd control and that there are no harmful effects of it. Whistleblowers have come out talking about this technology and how it's been used in certain agencies. Oh, fun! Some people that have actually... The eerie part about this is the people that said they've had this used on them said that they do not recall what happened to them, nor recall what they did and what they were told to do. Oh, I love it! What's that? Oh, there's a...
Captured back in 2018, the person who took it used to visit haunted places and do rituals just to see something. But after this photo, they learned the true concept of the more you found, the more you find out. What do you think is in that doorway?
I'm not really too sure what type of paranormal activity they caught on film, but if you look closely at the face, it kind of resembles a skull a little bit. Or it could be her mom telling her to put some damn bed sheets on her bed. You tell me, what do you see? Now this unexplained footage they got on film, take a look at the Sphinx's giant paws compared to the rest of the body. This is excellent footage showing how it's not symmetrical at all. The theory goes is that the Egyptians or whatever carved the Sphinx into this giant lion statue, it was a reset on top of another reset. What details of history are they leaving out and not telling us?
What if Earth once supported trees so large? What if Earth once supported trees so large, we've mistaken their remains for mountains? There's a theory that long before recorded history, Earth was covered in colossal trees, not forests as we know them, but towering structures that reached into the sky. And according to ancient texts, their destruction may have changed the world forever. One of the most controversial sources tied to this idea is the Book of Enoch. In this text, there are descriptions of a world that existed before a great flood.
The Book of Enoch, it talks about how the angels labored at the trees. Imagine how big a tree has to be for an angel to produce labor on it.
A world inhabited by giants, often referred to as the Nephilim, beings said to be massive in size and immense in strength. Some interpretations claim these giants were sustained by enormous trees so vast they were described as reaching toward the heavens. The text goes on to describe a catastrophic event. The trees were cut down, the land was broken open, and water poured both from above and from below the earth. Supporters of the giant tree theory connect this description to a strange phenomenon we still observe today. When modern trees are cut down and their roots reach underground water systems, water can suddenly rush upward, sometimes violently. Now imagine that process scaled up, trees thousands of feet tall, root systems extending deep into the earth, and hundreds of these structures being destroyed at once. The result wouldn't be a simple flood. It would be a global catastrophe. Some theorists believe this is why ancient cultures across the world preserve flood myths, not as metaphors, but as memory.
The craziest part, if these are giant petrified trees, is look at how smooth the top of all of them are. You know, it doesn't look like it was like chopped at an axe, even though someone did find a giant petrified axe on one of these videos. But it's smooth. It almost was like some type of solar technology the angels used. I know, right? How crazy would that be? The veil is thinning, and their true form is leaking through. Could this be a Draco reptilian?
E ao mesmo tempo, nós não vamos parar por aí. Já estão encomendados.
Did you hear that?
Encomendados. Já estão.
Reminds me on the scene on the Men in Black where the alien blinked 2 different ways. We just heard him speak 2 different ways. That's not normal. This isn't adding up.
Encomendados.
Whoa. Look at the
Já
lady,
estão
y'all.
encomendados. Estudos para eliminar. Chega, é muito. Já estão.
Told y'all the veil is gone. We in a time where energy cannot lie. These low vibrational beings are entities being exposed left and right. That thing could not get it together. Did y'all hear the laugh at the end? Like, go back and rewind that shit. Like something out of a movie. This is not no laughing matter, sir. Or it. We watched an actual vibrational breakdown right in front of our face. His voice didn't glitch. It shifted. Frequency slipped and then something else slipped through. Something was not quite human, if you ask me. I know nobody asked me, but I'm going to tell you anyway. Entities that mask themselves in human skin have to work overtime to maintain that vibration. Remember, I told y'all, Earth's frequency is rising as well as our frequency. Because of that, those masks and illusions are cracking. It's like trying to keep a low vibrational radio signal active on a high vibrational channel or station. Like what we saw there, eventually something gonna get exposed. But when that thing's voice morphed, because that wasn't no technical issue, it just shows the vessel couldn't hold the illusion no more. And the people in the room gave it away. Everybody went silent like, what is going on? The lady was so mean. She jumped back so quick like, this is why we see more glitches, strange behaviors, eye shift, and frequency slip. No longer in a frequency match with the inorganic. Again, the veil is thinning and everything hiding in plain sight will no longer be able to hide. Not for much longer anyway. We in the times of come out wherever you are.
Y'all jump in those comments. What was going on with his voice? Y'all tell me. If you're enjoying this type of content about UFOs, paranormal, erased history that the higher ups of society is trying to hide, hit that like and subscribe button, find the bell icon, and turn notifications to all. We do this every single day, and I love to see you. Now let's get straight back into these creepy clips caught on camera.
What if Pangea never broke apart? What if it was just covered in water and it never fell apart? In my previous video, I explained how when the waters rose, it pushed the oxygen up into outer space where the oxygen froze. The denser air then traveled and was pushed down. Liquid oxygen is slightly denser than water, but this is frozen oxygen, and the colder it gets, the denser it gets. Because of the density and the 30% of the oxygen that was taken from our atmosphere, this sky ice would have pushed the sea levels down so much that it would have raised the water level to where these things are now covered in water, and they're telling us that it's just drifted apart. But I guarantee you that is not the truth.
That would explain where Lemuria went. If you think about where Lemuria went, or Atlantis, off the map.
This is all part of the great illusion, the great spell that we have been put under. Everything is right here in front of our face. I guarantee that is why they're worried about the CO2 emissions, because CO2 gets transferred into the water. The water then becomes more acidic. Of course I looked it up. The effect observed was that lower pH increases melting time. As the level of carbon dioxide goes up, these are all examples from different places, the acidity of the water falls. What if the only reason they're worried about carbon monoxide is because it's going to melt that ice and give us back the oxygen that is being stored underneath the ice as sky ice that we don't know about, and that is actually making the water levels rise up so much that it's covered up Pangea, and we're literally living on Pangea.
Not just Pangea, there's a lot of other stuff that it covered up. Lemuria, Atlantis, Heracleon, just to name a few.
Of course, this is why on the modern maps, they've exacerbated and exaggerated the true size of each continent so that we think that it's complete, and America is the same size as Africa. What? Are you kidding me? Look at it. Look at it. And this is why they fabricated the size of all the continents on the map that they show you, so that you stay confused. And they put out there, oh, well, if Antarctica melts, then we're all going to be flooded. No, we are not going to be flooded. The only reason that the water level has risen to where it is because there is solid oxygen that is pushing the waters down. And if the ice in the Arctic melts, that is going to release that 30% of hydrogen that is now a solid back into our atmosphere, and the water level is actually going to drop, and you will see Pangea reform. Let me know in the comments if it checks out. Peace.
Does make you think how all these ancient sites, now they're covered in water. If you thought you weren't going to get another mysterious, excellent specimen of the day, think again. Potion there! Alright, let's see what we got here. Fascinating piece. I already know what I'm gonna name this off the bat. Normally I don't have a name for them, but this one, it came to me instantly. Look how massive this is. How do these even form? You know, this is crazy. This crystal that is a blue needle shape, beautiful. I'm gonna rate this a 9.5. We're rating this a 9.5, and the name I'm gonna give this specimen, Stargate. I'm calling this specimen Stargate 9.5. Drop your names in the comments below and what you rated. Mysterious piece. How do these even get formed? That's all we got for tonight's video. And look, we went from UFO footage that no one can explain, the technology that got buried most people ever heard about. I'm starting to see that this is no coincidence. This is a pattern. And the pattern gets deeper every episode, which is exactly why I need you subscribed and notified, because YouTube's not going to push this content to everybody. This way you can stay in the loop. Darkwaters9.com, sign up, be the first there, so when it surfaces, you're the first to know. The code word for it today is what are they hiding? Drop what are they hiding in the comments below so I know your family. And I just want to say I love you guys. Thank you so much for your support. I don't take any of this for granted. This was disturbing and mysterious videos that broke my understanding. Till next time.